For those of you who've been here any length of time, you know this is so far beyond just public speaking. Whether you're talking to one person or you're in front of a group, there's a way to use our eyes that makes everything work better. And this is it. The soft, steady gaze of kind regard. In life, I think we often work hard to connect, as if it entails some sort of doing, as opposed to just an allowance. And what we're developing here is this soft, available eye, which is, and I'm also saying it so that you realize that in your turn, the whole instruction is whatever else you do, to be distinctly with one person at a time is the be-all and end-all practice here. You'll get more from doing that than anything else you think you're trying to get out of this. And it really comes down to and I didn't have this skill at all until I was in my 50s and created this work. I did not. I couldn't, even one-on-one, I wasn't there with my eyes. ADD and all sorts of stuff. So I've learned this from the ground up. And for 25 years I've been practicing this. And finally I think I have a way to describe that that's really all the work is about. You could see it as a muscle that we're going to the gym to develop this muscle, almost a literal muscle behind our eyes, a place to see the world from, a place to see other human beings from, a place to love from. And it's so maybe there's some, I've used the term luminous listening. So you might say we teach luminous listening. We're practicing luminous listening. In your seat, you're listening with the lights on behind your eyes, allowing the person to be who they are. And here we're luminously listening to our listeners. That's what looks like charisma, by the way. You leave it there. So enjoy your practice of eye-to-eye communication skill. And I'd like to hear how that impacts the rest of your life when you're not here. Often people do talk about, in their turns, they talk about one-on-one, how this has influenced a relationship or business. So I'm real interested in that.
There's something cool about this space that's such a calm space. And it's healing to be here. Being here, standing on 2 feet, being seen by 16 or so pairs of eyes. It feels kind of like this really safe bubble. One of the things that I went back to visit my family for is because I know that I give them a boost. And I think that part of the boost comes from perhaps the sense of wholeness that comes from being in a speaking circle, and perhaps also then comes from bringing that into the world all the time. There's a buoyancy available here. There's, like when we were kids, before we learned all the words and before we made all the decisions about how bad we are, how bad the world is, if you think of a kid, they're buoyant. Or a dog or a cat that doesn't have a language to destroy itself with. Eye-to-eye communication. It doesn't happen very often in families, in intimacy, in one-on-one connections. We talk kind of past each other, and we look past each other, and we speak past each other, and I saw that a lot with my family. Very little eye-to-eye connection. And then I kind of scoop up that way of being, too. I wonder how you actually get people to actually look at you that are used to a lifetime of not looking when we're communicating. Because even here, when we first start here, it's really challenging, even though that's the protocol, that's the practice. It's like here in this circle with all of your connection and allowing, it's probably more connection than I had that whole trip with a whole bunch of people that are used to just kind of flying, bypassing and so used to each other. My mom and dad are 90, you know. They've been living together for so many years, they don't even need to talk. But they do. They really do. Thank you.
How's that, Nancy?
You know, I don't know. It was interesting to slow down enough to feel the presence of everybody. I love that.
Oh, deep, nourishing stillness.
Deep, nourishing stillness. Yeah.
Easy listening.
Easy listening. Thank you.
Bright vulnerability.
Great,
Oh, bright vulnerability.
bright vulnerability. Thank you. Yeah.
Courageous insight.
Courageous insight. Thank you.
Calm and serene.
Calm and serene. That's good. Thank you. Yeah.
So, vibrant, entertaining.
Vibrant, entertaining. Thank you.
So for some reason, I probably feel the most nervous out of all the sessions that I've done here at Speaking Circles right now. I don't know why. My heart, I can hear my heart beating like really fast, and the echoes in my head, the blood pressure. I don't know why. I don't know what the cause, stage fright. But it's funny though, because I was up here like 20 minutes ago in front of you all and I felt fine. It's weird. I don't know what's causing it. I just feel really uneasy. I think it's because when I was sitting in that chair, about a minute before I was supposed to come up, I started to worry. I was like, oh, what am I going to talk about? And all this insecurities kind of surfaced. It's always been an old habit of mine, whether it's for work, school, social interactions. I mean, there are times when I would have something planned with friends, I mean, old friends whom I've known for over 20 years. You think I'd be comfortable with them, hanging out with them, but I would be anxious about meeting them and having to interact and socialize. Maybe it's a self-esteem issue that I have. I always felt maybe, I don't know, when I was younger, I was being judged a lot by others, by my family members especially. Just be yourself and just speak your mind. And more often than not, a lot of people will agree with you. They can relate and understand, and you may even help a lot of them. Just by being here tonight, listening to all your stories, I experienced that. And it's great to hear these stories because I can relate. I understand. And that made me feel comfortable. So I guess that's something that I'm working on currently. This is my third speaking circles. And I like to hope that I've improved greatly since my first speaking circle. I watched the videos and I was anxious because I was afraid of what I was going to see. I already prejudged myself. And when I actually saw myself, I just cringed. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt embarrassed. Started perspiration or sweat started covering my body. The blood pressure, I was like, my God, I look silly. I look stupid up here. What I'm saying is, my God, how can anyone understand that or find that funny? My second video I saw a great improvement. My composure, my mannerisms, my confidence really grew. I like to call that progress. Because whether it's speaking in front of 4 or 5 people or hundreds of people, I want to exhibit that confidence, that personality. I want to make it personal between each and every one of you. Doesn't matter how many of you are out there. And that's my goal. I have to say this has really taught me a lot. I appreciate this moment. I'm living in the moment. When I first got up here, I was really nervous, but now I'm kind of calm. I'm breathing. I feel good. I want this to last, this moment, the feeling that I'm feeling. Thank you.
How is this for you, Ray?
Yeah, it's great. Very great. My heart's not beating as fast anymore, and yeah.
Rock solid presence and resonance.
Rock solid presence and resonance. Thank you.
Grounded ease.
Grounded ease. Thank you.
Confident honesty.
Confident honesty. Thank you.
Bold, self-aware, and composed.
Bold, self-aware, and composed. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Relaxed. Treasure.
Relaxed treasure. Thank you.
This is a big part of the work. Right now.